Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jai Hind. So, good morning and welcome to this daily newspaper editorial analysis session. So, I hope I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Good morning. Okay. So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the session. So, I hope your preparation is going well and you are writing answer also. You are preparing your mains notes also. So, tell me one thing, in the last 1 month, how many themes you have prepared? Have you made notes in such a manner that it can be used later on also? Have you classified them in different categories? Like we have got some repetition of topics. We have got repetition of topics on women empowerment. We have got repetition of topics on oil and energy crisis. We have got topics on Iran or West Asia conflict. We have seen a number of things. In fact, about education system also, we have got some articles. तो हैव यू क्लासिफाइड देम प्रॉपर्ली? क्या आपने उसको प्रॉपर्ली क्लासिफाई किया है? So I will give you one task today. I will give you one task today that you have to make a list of the topics which you have prepared in the last 1 month. You have to make a list of the topics which you have prepared in the last 1 month. That what themes have been completed. Okay, that's good. So I also need this one thing, that you should arrange them properly. You should arrange them properly. That is one thing which is required. You have to arrange them properly so that you can use them. You can use a mix of them. Suppose on women empowerment, we have got multiple articles. They have got multiple messages. So if you have compiled them all at one place, then your topic on women reservation or women empowerment is very much complete. Okay. What is your doubt, Mona? Tell me, what is your doubt? So let's begin our session. In today's session, the topics which we are going to discuss, one topic is again with respect to women in legislature. Then we have one topic with respect to the oil shock. And the third topic is very crucial one related to strategic autonomy. Yeah. Yes. If you're having a separate notebook, then yes, of course, it is going to help you later also. So now let's start with these topics, and today we will discuss the questions also. So today we don't have any time limitations. We can discuss the questions. So we will discuss last day's question also and the day prior to that also. So let's start with today's topic. The first topic is related to the women in legislature. The first topic is related to women in legislature. I think you are aware about the background of it. Okay. What is the background of this topic if we talk about it? When we talk about the background, I think you all are clear about it, that right now the women representation, if we talk about Lok Sabha, this is something which is near about 14%. In Rajya Sabha also near about 14 to 15%. In state legislature, we see that it is less than 10% on average. It is less than 10% on average. So this is one part which we know about the background of it. At the same time, we see that when we talk about the local government, when we talk about the local government, can you tell me what is the representation in local government, the actual representation? There is a 1/3 quota which we know about, but what is the actual representation? What is the actual representation of women in local self-government? How many women are there as part of local self-government? Panchayats, municipalities and everything. How many percentage of women are there as representatives? We have discussed about this one also in our previous classes, that how much representation of women is there in the local self-government. If you can recall, it is near about 45-46%. Nearly 45-46%. So what we see that it is near about 45 to 46%. That is the representation of women in case of our local self-government. Now we see that that there is the Parliament of India. The Parliament, it has come with Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. It has come with this one part, Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. Now this is something which is providing 1/3 reservation. This is providing 1/3 reservation in Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha. It is providing 1/3 reservation in Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha. So that is also something which you are aware about. So these are the things which are continuously getting repeated. I think by now you should be able to recall them exactly. By now you should be able to recall them exactly, that what is the percentage of women in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and everything. So we have got this Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam which is providing 1/3 reservation. There is a condition. There is a condition that this will be, it is going to be implemented, will be implemented after next census and delimitation. So we are also aware that as part of this Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam, this is going to be implemented after the next census and delimitation. So that is one thing which is existing on ground. This is something which is existing on ground. This is the reality of women reservation as of now. Recently, we have seen that government has come with another bill. Government has come with another bill that we are going to carry out delimitation, and at the same time, this reservation will be applicable from 2029 elections itself. However, the bill was not passed. Okay. So recently, we have seen that a bill has been proposed. Recently, we have seen a bill was there which proposed. Recently, we have got 131st Amendment Bill. And this has proposed that this women reservation it will be implemented from 2029, and it has also said that there will be a delimitation of seats, that there is going to be a delimitation of seats. However, what we see that this bill, it has failed. It has failed to pass. It has failed to pass from the houses of the parliament. So this bill has failed to pass from the house of the parliament. So that is one thing which we see here, that this bill has not been passed. Now the question is, let's forget about this delimitation. Why the political parties, or why the parliament is not extending the women reservation in the present conditions? Right now also we have got 543 seats in Lok Sabha. So why is the parliament, why the political parties of India are not ready to provide reservation as of now? Why they are waiting for future delimitation? Why they are waiting for future census? Why not implement it from right now? Okay. So here there is a question that why not now? If the intent is so noble, their intent is very good, that they want to provide reservation to women in Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha. So the question is, why they are not going for implementation of reservation right now in the existing seats itself? In the existing seats itself, why they are not going for this reservation? So there is one part why this is not being done. This will unsettle the incumbent leaders. Those who have already won the elections, those who are having a particular seat, so it is going to replace them. It is going to replace them, the incumbents, those who have won the elections, those who are MPs right now. Next time, they might lose their seat if there is a women reservation. So this is one thing. Then the sub quota, there is multiple such sub quota and everything. It will change the political arithmetic. It will change the political arithmetic. So they have made political arithmetic, that how they are going to like get seats, how they are going to get elected and everything. So there is a resistance among themselves that if we are going to implement the women reservation without extending, without increasing the number of seats, it is going to harm the political career of those people who are already there, who are already elected as MPs. So what we see, that this is going to be one of the challenge. This is why they are waiting for the delimitation. This is why they are waiting for having this census and everything, that seats will increase, and then only they will go for the delimitation. Now there is one thing, that why it should be done urgently. Why there should be immediate, why there should be immediate implementation. That why we should go for immediate implementation, why we should go for this immediate implementation of the women reservation. So here there are certain points. First point is women in society. When we talk about women in society, they are often victims of crime. They face higher proportion of crime against them. There is a higher proportion of crime against them. So there is need of empowerment. There is a need of empowerment. That is one part. We see that women, whether we are talking about the household, or whether we are talking about outside, we see that the women are facing a number of crimes. In household cases also, there is domestic violence. Like we have seen during the COVID times also. We have seen that women are facing higher cases of domestic violence. So this is one of the idea, this is one of the part where we see that why the women reservation should be implemented at urgent basis. First part is women in the society. They are facing the burden, so they should be empowered first. Okay. Second thing is the diversity of problems. The diversity of problems requires diverse approach in policy making. Now see here, we are having a number of challenges. We are having a number of challenges like agri-stress. We are seeing climate change. We are seeing disaster. Then at the same time, public health issue. Now what we see that in many of them, in many of these problems, women face more problems. So women are facing more problems than men, and hence if they are part of the policy making, then it will be much more better. If they are part of the policy making, then it is going to be much more better. So this is also one thing which we see, that why there should be immediate implementation. Okay. Plus at the same time, we have examples of leaders. We have examples from Panchayati Raj, PRIs. We have examples from Panchayati Raj institutions. We have seen that when they are entering into politics, they are making different policies. They are ruling with empathy. There is a rule of empathy. There is rule by empathy, or there is policy making based on empathy also. So we have seen that it has led to empathetic policy. Empathetic policy making, like it is full with empathy, it is full with consideration of others. So why we need to do this on an immediate basis? These are some of the factors which must help us to arrive at a conclusion that why we need to do this on an urgent basis. Now there is another part that when we are talking about women reservation, now here is a question on reservation itself, that quota based representation. When we are talking about quota based representation, so this has kind of got mixed result. This is something which has got a mixed result. Like in case of Rwanda, there is a place called as Rwanda. Okay. So what we see that in Rwanda, in Africa, in case of Rwanda in Africa, we see that there is a quota. Okay. Quota based representation. Quota based representation. So what we see when we talk about its achievements, we see that there is something gender based policy for, they have got policies for gender based violence. They have got policies for gender based violence also. They have got land rights also. Land rights. for women. We see that there is a land rights for women also. But then we see that there is a limitation here. There is a limitation here. The actual power of the government, what we see that the actual power is still there in case of the male. Okay. So actual power still here resides in male. So while we see that there has been some changes, there has been some of the improvement, but what we see that the actual power has not changed. The actual power game has not improved. Okay. Whereas on the other side, we have examples of Norway. Or Sweden. Here we see that representation without quota. There is a representation without quota. How this has been done? Internal party reforms. We see that there has been internal party reforms. And there has been policies on work-life balance. There has been policies on equity, parental leave. There has been policy on work-life balance. There has been policy on equity. There has been policy on parental leaves. So we have seen the Nordic countries which are there. They have got one of the best policies. But it doesn't mean that they are not having their own problems. Okay. So we see that still they are also facing problem. And even the quota-based countries are also facing problem. But in both cases, we see that at least there is some improvement. In case of New Zealand and Germany also, we have seen that the representation of women has not diluted the merit. There is no such dilution of merit which can be seen here. Okay. So we see that the numbers, the change in the representation is not leading to the change in the merit. Okay. So it is wrong to say that if women are given reservation right now, there will be a change in the meritocracy or other parts. Okay. So this is one of the argument. This is not a solution for everything. Quota is not a solution for something, but we have read it previously also that where there is nothing, at least there should be quota. Okay. So I hope this part is clear. You are not able to write answer by yourself. See, Ria, the thing is, when you are like practicing answer writing, what you need to do is, you need to work on a continuous basis. It cannot be done in 1 day or 2 days. But let me give you an example of other people who are writing answers. Many of the students who are attending the sessions on regular basis, now they have started to write good answers, and that too in a very limited amount of time. Many of the students who are attending the sessions regularly, they are able to write answer within 10 minutes now, and that too like in a proper manner. 70 to 80% answers are matching. So if you work on regular basis for 1 month, you will see the improvement. Okay. So that is one thing which is required. Now, so on the basis of this also, I will give you a question later. Okay, let me show you the question here. The quota-based women empowerment has limited success potential discuss in 250 words. So this is one question which you have to practice. So now we have discussed many dimensions of it. And in fact, on this topic itself, on this topic of women reservation, we have discussed at least 6-7 different articles. So when you are writing the answer now, you have to compile all of them. You have to compile all the information, all the arguments, and on the basis of that now, you have to write answers. So if you are consistent, in this process, you will find that the answer writing is going to improve. Quality wise also, content wise also, precision wise also. Okay. Now, let's come to the next part. This article is having lesser relevance, but still we are discussing it. क्योंकि और कोई article था नहीं, so we are still discussing it. So it is about the oil shock which is there. It is about the oil shock which is there. It is not that much important. तो इसमें मैं लिख के कुछ नहीं दे रहा हूँ. Just telling you one by one. So it is saying that there was a 1973 Arab oil crisis. But in this case also, there was no such closure of the strait. In 1973, when Arab crisis was there, there was no such closure of the Strait of Hormuz. In 1980 to 88, Iran and Iraq conflict also, we see that the Strait of Hormuz was not completely affected. Then we have 2019, drone attacks on Saudi Arabia, earthquake facility. So there was only a temporary disruption before supply stabilized. But this time in 2026, what we see that the US-Iran conflict. In this US-Iran conflict, we see that it has led to closure of Hormuz. It has led to disruption in supplies. It has led to disruption in supplies. What we see that the oil prices, this is something which is rising sharply in global markets. So this time what we see that the Strait of Hormuz, crisis is a never before crisis. It is a never before crisis. Nothing like this has happened in past as per this article. That this situation has not arisen in the past. We have not seen such a challenge in the past in oil supply or supply disruption. Now this article says that there is a supply challenge. There is a supply challenge plus price rise plus depreciation of currency. Plus depreciation of currency. So there is a supply challenge plus price rise plus depreciation of currency. But what does says that it has not affected the users in terms of price. In terms of price of petrol or diesel. That the prices of petrol and diesel has not been hiked. There is no such change in the prices of petrol and diesel. So it says that there has been a loss of 62,000 crore. There has been a loss of 62,000 crore. This 62,000 crore, out of this 30,000 crore rupees, it is loss of government. in form of taxes. Loss of government in form of taxes, and the 32,000 crore, that is loss for oil marketing companies. So it is a loss for the oil market companies. So now basically you can see that a context has been created. देखो, a context has been created. What context has been created? That we are seeing that there is a never before crisis in the past also, in case of 1973 oil crisis or 1980 war, even in case of 2019, we see that there was a crisis, but this time the crisis is at a very much higher level. And we see that the prices of oil, it has been rising in the international market, but we are not increasing it at the domestic level. We have not increased it at the domestic level for consumers. The loss has been borne by the government and the oil marketing companies. It further says that the profit of OMC is very low even in normal years. That the profit is quite low even in normal years. They say that from 2019 to 2024, the profit has been from 0.56 to maximum of 4.5%. That the profit of the oil companies has been quite lower. So they are not having too much money. They are not having too much money which they can use in order to suffer the loss in the present times. Okay. So here we see one part has been created, that the crisis is never before. Second part, the loss is borne by government and oil marketing companies. Third part, oil market companies have not got too much money. They have not been too much profitable in the past. And the fourth point is, the fourth point which has been provided here, that the crisis may be longer. The crisis may be longer. Okay. The crisis may be extended for a longer duration. So on the basis of this, there is a suggestion in this editorial. There is a suggestion in this editorial which says that this crisis, it has to be handled by everyone. And this everyone includes government, this includes oil marketing companies, and the most importantly, this has to be met by consumers also. So consumers also have to face this. Basically, the entire gist of the story is that the oil prices may be increasing in upcoming days. The entire gist of the story is this, that the petrol and diesel prices may increase in upcoming few days. Okay. You may have seen that the Prime Minister has also given a speech where he has urged the citizens to reduce the use of petrol, diesel, and many other things, in fact. Okay. Now, there is an editorial also which is coming up, which is saying that government cannot alone do this. Oil marketing companies cannot alone do this. The consumers will also have to bear the price. The consumers should also bear the price. The loss which is being suffered, it is now a need that it has to be transferred to the consumers also. So be prepared. So this article is more about preparedness, less about exam. Okay. This article is more about preparedness and less about exam. You have to be prepared for this. You have to be prepared for this price rise now. So it has been said that The government, they need to reduce the duty. Okay. They need to reduce the duty. They need to reduce the tax. The consumers need to like bear higher prices. They have to pay the higher prices at the petrol pumps. So that is the ultimate message here in this editorial. So I hope this second editorial is also clear. It is less of relevant for exam. It's not relevant for exam, in fact. It is moreover relevant for your knowledge, day-to-day knowledge. Okay. Now, coming to this one part. There is a concept called as strategic autonomy. So we are going to discuss this part. Shifting towards electronic vehicles. Good. The best option is there is one source of transportation which is always cheaper. There is one source, there is one such mode of transportation which is always cheaper, and that is walking. If you are walking, then you have no cost at all. There is no such cost. It is in fact beneficial. It is in fact beneficial. So if you have to go for 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, then the best mode of transportation will be to walk on your own, go there, come back. It will help you to exercise also. It will be adding to your physical activities. And at the same time, it is the most cheapest mode of transportation ever. It is the most cheapest mode of transportation ever. The only thing which will be impacted, you will need some water, you will need some, let's say, some food in order to fulfill yourself, and maybe your shoes or your slippers, they might get affected, they might get torn a little bit, but still it will work for 6 months, 1 year. So this is the best possible mode of transportation. Okay. It is peaceful also. Although NCRB report says that, the NCRB report says that the pedestrians are second to die in road accident. The people who die most in road accidents are the people who are using two-wheelers, the bikes. The second person who are most affected by road accidents are pedestrians. Those who are walking on the road, they are the second most affected. They have the second most higher fatality rate. Of course, in many countries, there have been increase of prices of oil. In our country, there was no increase in the prices of oil, even in the times of March and April, when the prices were more than $120 per barrel. Even in that situation, there has been no such increase in the price. Can you guess why? Why we have not seen an increase in price during March and April? I think you know that. Okay. So let's come to the next part, strategic autonomy. So here we have this one thing, strategic autonomy. Now, the question is, this term is quite much famous. In geopolitics, this term is quite much famous. So now the question is, what exactly is strategic autonomy? Okay. The strategic autonomy is like the ability to take independent decisions with respect to vital interest. That it is the ability to take independent decisions, okay, autonomous decisions with respect to vital interest. Now see, when we talk about geopolitics, or when we talk about diplomacy, when we talk about geopolitics or diplomacy, you know that this is something which is like related to trade off and concession. Okay, it is like there is trade off and concessions. They are very important elements. They are very important elements. So basically, it is being said that in every matter, in every aspect, you cannot have an independent decision. In every matter, in every aspect, you cannot have a very much independent decision. In some matters, of course, you have to. In some matters, of course, you have to do some trade-off. You have to give some concessions. You have to give some concessions. You have to do some trade-off. So this is one thing which we see, that strategic autonomy is not like that on each and every matter. Strategic autonomy doesn't say that on each and every matter you need to have an autonomous decision making, autonomous independent decision making. It says that there is going to be an independent decision making on vital interest. Vital means very important matters, fundamental matters. That on fundamental matters you will have to have a autonomous decision. That is something which has been defined as strategic autonomy. Now let us start the test for strategic autonomy. Okay. So India is facing this challenge mainly from some countries in the world. Okay. India is facing this challenge of a strategic autonomy only from certain countries in the world. Okay. The first part is China. So what is the core demand of China? What is the core demand of China? Like what China wants from India? When we talk about this, there are three things. Okay. China has a demand that abide by one China policy. Abide by one China policy. What is this one China policy? No shelter to Dalai Lama. No relation with Taiwan, or no recognition of Taiwan, sorry. No recognition of Taiwan. No recognition of Taiwan. So India, if we talk about India, India is abiding by this. India has not given separate recognition to Taiwan, but what we see, but maintains relations with Taiwan. But India maintains relation with Taiwan. So India has not given a special recognition to Taiwan, but India is maintaining a relation with Taiwan. Then what we see, that India provides the shelter here. Okay. Not abiding by this. We are not abiding by this. What we see that we are providing the shelter to Dalai Lama. We are providing the shelter to Dalai Lama. So this is one of the part. Second demand of China is like concede Aksai Chin and Arunachal Pradesh. One of the demand of China is to concede Aksai Chin and Arunachal Pradesh. This is also something which is rejected. Okay. There is a third demand. Okay. They don't allow or don't join US led containment policy of China. That here it says that you should not be part of any such US policy, that you should not be part of any such US policy which is aimed at containing China. So although India is not specifically talking about any such group, India is not part of any military alliance, India is not part of any such group which is targeting China. But yes, we have some security alliance. We do have security alliance like Quad. We have seen we are part of Pax Silica. We are part of Mineral Security Partnership. So when we talk about with respect to China's perspective, here we have been able to maintain our strategic autonomy. In this case, we can say that we have been able to maintain our strategic autonomy. So this is one of the part that what is the meaning of a strategic autonomy here? When we talk with respect to China, we can see that we have been able to do this. Okay. Second thing is, if we talk about the second key partner, European Union. When we talk about European Union, so European Union has a core focus. This has got also a core focus, and that is on trade and human rights. On trade and human rights, we see that they have been demanding India to condemn Russia. They have been demanding India to condemn Russia. Okay. In fact, they have been asking India to reduce dependency on Russia. They have been asking India to reduce dependency on Russia. Now, on all these matters, you can see that we have not been very much following what European Union wants. वैसे भी यूरोपियन यूनियन की अभी इतनी कुछ खास वैल्यू है नहीं. So if they say anything about human rights, we give them a strong reply. Okay. If they ask us about condemning Russia, so then we tell them that Europe's problem is not everyone's problem. Okay. Europe's problem is not everyone's problem. So what we have seen that India has not been conceding to the demands of Europe also. So here also we have been able to maintain our strategic autonomy. So we see that even in the trade deal, we have got a trade deal, but the trade deal with Europe is not that much harmful for us. In fact, the trade deal for Europe has been useful for India also. It has been useful for India also. So here also, India has been able to maintain. Here also we see that India maintains strategic autonomy. Here also India has been able to maintain a strategic autonomy. Then you will see there is a third country called as Russia. Now here, what is the core demand of Russia? What is the core demand of Russia? This is something which is not clear. India's response. It is simply Not clear. Why? It is all very much secret. This is something which is quite secret. This is something which is quite secret. So Russia is some country. Russia is a country which is not declaring its demand in a vocal manner. Russia is not a country which is demanding that you have to do this, you have to do that. They may be having some demands, but it is not cleared. It is not clear in the public forum. There are only guessworks which are there. So it is a complete secret. So let's skip this part. So let's skip this part with respect to Russia. Okay. Then the fourth part. The fourth one is related to United States. Now this is something which is the most vocal demand here. This is the most vocal demand here. They have got not demand, they have got list of demands. They have got this list of demands. Okay. So like first demand is elimination of high tariff. They have got this elimination of high tariff on US goods. That is one of the demand. Then there is second demand, stop buying Russian oil. Stop buying Russian oil. Okay. Then they have purchase oil, energy. They say that technology, agri-product from USA. They has another demand list. They also say that prevent BRICS from de-dollarization. That prevent the BRICS from de-dollarization. Okay. Then they also say prevent curtail relations with Iran. Curtail relation with Iran and so on till infinity. So this demand is till infinity. So here it's not that there is only 4 or 5 demands. The demands of US are very elaborate list. They have got an elaborate list of demands. It's not limited. It is so on. Now what we see that in this case, elimination of high tariff. Here we see that India has reduced tariff. India has reduced tariff as part of the deal. Okay. Stop buying Russian oil. It has also reduced. Especially we have seen in November and December 25. Then increasing purchase. We have seen that we have got increasing purchase. Then prevent BRICS from de-dollarization. What we say? India, this has opposed de-dollarization. India has in fact publicly said that we are not going for de-dollarization. We are not going for de-dollarization. Relations with Iran, this is at lowest level. This is something which is at lowest level. So what we see that when we talk about US expectations, so we seem to be fulfilling many of them. If not totally, then at least partially we are fulfilling most of them. We are fulfilling most of these interests. Now, what is the outcome of this? What is the outcome of this? India, it has got no close friends. India has got no such close friends. We don't have Russia as our close friend now. We don't have Russia as our close friend now. Russia is more of a close friend of China. Russia is more of a close friend of China than us. Then we see that China, of course, we don't have a good friendship. Europe, when we talk about, they are friends, but they are like, they are a friend which is not that much capable, the friend that is always changing its stand. जैसे एक आपका दोस्त होता है ना, जो अगर उसको सही लगा तो आपको सपोर्ट कर भी देगा, नहीं लगा तो वो पीछे हट जाएगा. So Europe is one such country which cannot be trusted as a friend. They don't have a strong bond with any country. They are more of like, जो सही है वो कर लेंगे, जो अपने लिए सही है वो कर लेंगे. And US, while we have been trying to gain a relation with US, we have been trying to gain a good friendship with US, we have not been able to achieve it. So our relations with US are also at not so good level. So what we see that basically we have been following multi-alignment. We have been following multi-alignment. Now there is a question on this, that this multi-alignment policy of India, this multi-alignment policy of India, many experts say that, several experts, they are saying that India has been losing its relevance. India is losing its relevance in geopolitics. There is a simple line, if you are friend of everyone, then you are friend of no one. अगर आप सबके दोस्त हो तो आप किसी के भी दोस्त नहीं हो, ठीक है. There is a simple saying that if you are friend of everyone, you are not a friend of anyone. So this is one of the challenging aspect for Indian diplomacy. This is a challenging aspect for Indian diplomacy, that right now in the world we are like there, but we are not having that much relevance, despite being a very large economy, a very strong military. We are losing that relevance. That despite having all these things, we are losing that relevance in the geopolitics. So I hope this part is clear. So on the basis of this, there is a question, is there a need to revisit multi-alignment policy of India in terms of international relation? Justify your answers. There is this one question, that is there a need to revisit the multi-alignment policy of India? Some people may agree with this, some people may disagree with this. Yeah. We have to find the balance. So now we are coming to the answer writing practice. So here we have the first question. A transition to just fuel should be just in nature. Highlight the issues related to energy transition. Highlight the issues with respect to energy transition. तो बताओ कितने लोगों ने आंसर लिखा है? How many of you have written this answer? You have written this. Okay. So when we talk about this, a transition to just fuel should be just in nature. If we talk about the context, if we talk about the context of it, we can write a global fact also, or we can write a fact with respect to transition of energy in India also. Here we talk about this. When we talk about the introduction, here we can write about a fact with respect to global energy transition. We can write a fact with respect to global energy transition, or a fact with respect to Indian energy transition. इन दोनों में से कोई भी एक इंट्रोडक्शन में आप लिख सकते हो. You can write about this. You can write about this. Like you can either mention the fact with respect to global energy transition, या फिर आप इंडिया में जो एनर्जी ट्रांजिशन हो रहा है उसको लेकर आप लिख सकते हो. The question is asking directly, highlight the issues related to energy transition. So you can directly come to this one part. Since this is a 150 word answer, you can directly come to this part, issues. Okay. And there you can mention the issues one by one. First, like there is one issue which is technology. You can mention that it is mainly in the control of developed nations and they are not ready to collaborate with the developing nations on this part. Then there is another part. There is another part, that is supply of critical minerals. Supply of critical minerals, that is also one of the issue. Then there is a third part. There is a third part, the capital investment. The capital investment. This is something which is again a challenging aspect in developing nations. Okay. Then we see that this is something which is going to create an employment issue. There is something which can lead to a problem of employment issue. And the fifth, the environmental concern. There is an environmental concern also. So this is something which you can answer, that what are the issues with respect to in employment issues. We can also mention the social challenge. Social challenge. Here you can mention that traditionally many people were dependent on the normal fuels or the traditional fuels. Their employment, their livelihood, everything was connected to them. At the same time, the transition to the renewable fuels are costly. It cannot be affordable by everyone. So there is a loss of the traditional system, plus the new systems are not affordable for everyone. So that is also one challenge which you can mention. Okay. In intro, I have used the West Asia war create the requirement of transition. That is also one thing which you can go for. There is no problem in that, Jenny. If you have mentioned about the West Asia crisis and the need for transition, then that's also a good introduction. You can mention that part also. That's good. If you have used flowchart, that is quite good. So first you will go to highlight the issues. Then you will write the solution for it. Here you can make use of some flowcharts. Here you can make use of some flowcharts in order to highlight that what solutions you are providing. What solutions you are providing with respect to that. And suppose this is a 150 word. So one of the format can be, in conclusion, you can mention some government steps. You can mention some government steps here also. Like you can write, suppose there is any such a scheme. Suppose there is any such a scheme, like we have got this Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Yojana, or we are having Kusum Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Yojana, or ethanol, ethanol blending, ethanol blending. So you can mention that the recent steps by government such as PM Surya Ghar Yojana, Kusum Yojana, ethanol blending are a positive step in this direction, which can ensure the just transition along with sustainable development. That they can ensure just transition along with sustainable development. Okay. So this is one part. Here the keyword is like you are ensuring just transition also or sustainable development आपने बोल दिया. So sustainable development means we are taking everyone together. Sustainable development is a keyword which is incorporating a lot of things. Means we are incorporating everyone together. Okay. So this is one part which you can mention in the conclusion also कि these are positive steps or these are very good steps in the direction of achieving a just transition and a sustainable development. Okay. So sustainable development is inclusive also, taking everyone together. तो आप बहुत सारे चीजों को एक साथ यहाँ पे लिख सकते हो. Okay. By just using this keyword sustainable development. Okay. So here, this is one of the part that how we can write this answer. I hope everyone can relate with this. आपने जो आंसर्स लिखा, I think you can relate with this quite easily. ज्यादातर चीजें मैच कर रही होगी. Okay. चलो, now moving on to this one more part. तो ये क्वेश्चन का आंसर सब लोगों का मैच कर रहा है लगभग 60%. तो नीड टू वर्क अ लिटिल बिट मोर. नहीं, there is nothing wrong in this answer. You can connect it with economy also. There is no problem. Now coming to this part, the role of governor has become increasingly contested in the present times. If you have to write the introduction of it. Now there are two options. One option is you can start with the constitutional provision. One of the option is you can start with a constitutional provision with respect to the role of governor. One of the option is you can start with a constitutional provision with respect to governor, or you can mention a current context. You can mention a current context. Both these options are there. So Anjali, see, if you are working on daily basis, you will find some improvement. So try to see ki how we are framing the answer. Try to look into this, and next time try to like write a similar answer in a similar manner. So देखोगे we are having many such repetition of topics also. Okay. We are having many a times repetition of the topics also. So if you are aligning with it, then you will find that more often things will be same. और देखो ऐसा नहीं कि आपको exactly इसी को match करना है. It is not that you have to exactly match. There are certain core parts of the answer which has to be correct. So like suppose that you have to write this part. देखो ये जो 6 portions मैंने लिखे ना, इसमें अगर आपने 5 लिखा है या 4 लिखा है, it is not a problem. If you have highlighted first the issues, if you have highlighted the issues and you have started to highlight the issues with respect to the energy transition, so then it's fine. Your issues may be slightly different. जरूरी नहीं कि आपको यही 6 points लिखने हैं. The points can be somewhat different also. I am just giving you an example that these 5-6 points can be incorporated. If you have written something extra, if you have written something more, or somewhat less, then also there is not a problem. The thing is, the structure should be in this manner that there is an introduction, there is an issue, then you have given a solution, then you have highlighted some of the government steps. So if you have written these different part of the answer, then also it's fine. Okay. So it's not that you have to write exactly like this. It's not that you have to write exactly like this, but somewhat related to this. तो आपको एग्जैक्टली यही नहीं लिखना है, इससे रिलेट करके लिखना है। तो मेन फोकस, दिस विल बी द मेन फोकस ऑफ द आंसर। देखो हर एक क्वेश्चन में एक मेन फोकस होता है, तो वर्क ऑन द मेन फोकस। बाकी सारी चीजें तो, क्वेश्चन इज दिस, हाईलाइट द इश्यूज। So if the question is highlight the issues, so main focus here will be highlight the issues, and then other parts will come up. So try to find out the main demand of the answer and write accordingly. Then coming to this one question, the role of governor has become increasingly contested in the present times. It says discuss. So first of all, what you will do, give the introduction, then you will write role of governor. Then you will write some of the rules of governor, not every. सारे चीजों को नहीं लिखना है, कुछ कुछ पार्ट्स को यहां पे लिखना है कि व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ द गवर्नर इन आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पॉलिटी। So you will mention first, this is the first part, this is the second part. Now it has become contested in the present times, so you can mention challenges with respect to the position of governor or role of governor. You will highlight some of the issues which are there, like appointment of chief minister, like you have the option of appointment of chief minister, delay in the bills, the governor acting as the political executive. Okay, so you can mention some of the examples how the governor's office is being compromised. Okay, then what you will see, then there will be next part that you can mention suggestions of. Here you can mention the suggestion of, let's say, Supreme Court in SR Bommai case. There is a SR Bommai case which you can mention. You can mention Punchi Commission and Sarkaria Commission. Punchi and Sarkaria Commission. Okay. Then you can mention the suggestion. Then after you can make a way forward. You can make a way forward. It can be in the form of flow chart. It can be in the form of flow chart, and then you can write the solution. Here you can focus on that there is a need to follow the spirit of constitution, or there is a need to focus on constitutionalism. There is a need to focus on balancing the federalism, or maintaining the essential elements of federalism in our country. Okay. So here you can focus on constitutionalism, balance, federalism. इन सभी कीवर्ड्स को आपको यूज करके कंक्लूजन को लिखना है. So it's not that you have to recommend कि let's remove the governor post, कि गवर्नर के पोस्ट को ही हटा देते हैं. You don't have to say that we have to remove the post of governor. What you can say is we have to ensure कि federalism, which is a key element of our constitution, must be preserved. The constitutional post holders must ensure the spirit of constitution. He must hold the spirit of constitution. Okay. So this is one part which you can do. Introduction, role of governor, challenges with respect to role of governor, suggestion of Supreme Court, SR Bommai case, Punchi and Sarkaria Commission. You can give a way forward in form of flow chart, and then you can mention the last part, the conclusion, where you can mention on constitutionalism, federalism, balance, etc. Okay. In governor's role, I'm a little bit confused. As in polity, I heard that governor can ask for the majority support. Yes, of course, governor can ask the government to prove the majority support, but the support is proven in the floor of the parliament, in the floor of the house. जो floor of the house है वहां पे prove करना होता है, and that also after giving a proper time. So the majority has to be proved in the floor of house. The majority has to be proved in the floor of house. देखो, if you read this article 164 also, okay, if you read this article 164 also, like uh, it simply said that the chief minister shall be appointed by the governor and by the governor. Okay. So it is not saying any part that what the governor has to do. It is not saying any part that what the governor has to do with respect to majority. Okay. So here we see that there is no such provision. So this is one part. इसमें कितना आंसर सही हुआ? I think this was one of the challenging question. देखो, when the question is very small, then the answer is often comprehensive. So tell me, how many of you have been able to write the answer? Yes, that's good. Anushri, if you have mentioned the instance of Goa, Manipur and Karnataka, that's very good. In the issues part, the challenges with respect to role of governor, here you can give multiple examples. Here you can give multiple examples. Okay. So that's good. Let's meet then in the next session. You have again got 2 questions which you can practice. आपके पास 2 क्वेश्चन और है जिसको आप प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हो. The quota based women empowerment has limited success potential. इसको अच्छे से लिखो, कल इस पे जरूर डिस्कस करेंगे. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about this part. Okay. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about this part. Quota based women empowerment has limited success potential. Discuss. Okay. So we are going to discuss about this section. Okay. Now there is one more update for you. There is a mains test series also, which is going to start from 5th of June. So this has got 20 number of tests. It is in offline and online medium. So this mains test series is also starting for 2026. Okay. So thank you everyone. Let's meet tomorrow and then we will discuss the remaining topics. Okay. So thank you. Take care. All the best. Thank you.